Just shout! Just shout! I like it.
I really shouldn't do videos about politics. I really should. But being an Army veteran, a 6-year Army veteran in the U.S. Army as an 11 Bravo and infantry soldier, I find it highly fucking offensive that Trump once again, is going to attack another fucking veteran. It's like, what the fuck, dude?
Piece of shit! You know.
This time it's General Mattis. He was a former Secretary of Defense for Trump, and he was a former Secretary of Defense for Obama. All right. Not only that, he is a military service member. That's all that fucking matters. You don't insult us. You insult one of us, you insult all of us, you fucktard. Let's see exactly what Mattis said about Trump.
A stunning rebuke against the President of the United States. The former Defense Secretary, General James Mattis, picked by the President himself to lead the Pentagon, issued this statement just a short time ago. I'll quote from it now. Donald Trump, says General Mattis, is the first president in my lifetime who does not try to unite the American people, does not even pretend to try. Instead, he tries to divide us. We are witnessing the consequences of 3 years of this deliberate effort. We are witnessing the consequences of 3 years without mature leadership, says the general. We can unite without him, drawing on the strengths inherent in our civil society.
Dun dun dun! You piece of fucking shit. I agree with all of that shit. Trump is a disease. He's the reason why America's fucking exploding. He's a fucktard. Those of you that vote for him, I apologize for your lack of intelligence. These are Trump's responses to General Mattis's rebuke about him trying to use military force against Americans. What a fucking child. Dickhead. Even his current Secretary of Defense, he's saying he kind of agrees with General Mattis. You know, we will not put military soldiers against Americans.
I say this not only as Secretary of Defense, but also as a former soldier and a former member of the National Guard. The option to use active duty forces in a law enforcement role should only be used as a matter of last resort and only in the most urgent and dire of situations. We are not in one of those situations now. I do not support invoking the Insurrection Act.
Not only does his own Secretary of Defense disagree with him, most Americans who served do disagree with him. Here is a retired officer.
Joining me now for more on the remarkable statement by General Mattis is Lieutenant General Russell Honore, who served as the commander of the Committee Joint Task Force in Katrina. It's great to have you on, General. First, your reaction to this statement, which is quite strong from General Mattis.
Well, I think General Mattis eloquently stated what's in the hearts and mind of many of us who wore our nation's cloth. Myself, I spent 37 years wearing our nation's uniform and commitment to that Constitution. And as you recall, the night as this thing happened, as it unfolded, I just happened to be doing an interview on another station, and I'll say now what I said then. The president doesn't understand the Constitution, or he don't give a damn.
It's a guarantee he doesn't even give a shit we have a Constitution of the United States. It's just not something we do. But Trump don't give a fuck. No, hell no. I mean, here's his press secretary telling us he'll never lie to us.
Will you pledge never to lie to us from that podium?
I will never lie to you. You have my word on that. Ask Jen.
Kayleigh, you mentioned Dr. King. He likely would not have approved of what took place Monday evening across from the White House, as you probably know.
This dumbass just shook her head like she does understand right from wrong.
If the White House president and his team had to do it all over again, would you have gassed and pummeled protesters to clear the park so the president could have a photo op?
Of course they would. They hate Americans, the ones that aren't rich anyways.
So let me first address no tear gas was used and no rubber bullets were used. So again, no tear gas was used, no rubber bullets were used.
But yet the bitch lied! You can see from this footage right here, Trump attacked Americans so he could get a fucking photo op! Are you fucking kidding me, you piece of shit?
I want to be super clear about what did and didn't happen right there. Nothing happened. on the side that the protesters were in. I was standing with those protesters. I've been with them since 2 o'clock this afternoon. It was by far the most peaceful day of protest that we've had in D.C. since this started on Friday night.
That looks just like a gun that would shoot something like rubber bullets. If you listen in the background, you'll hear rubber bullets being fired. This guy's actually holding a grenade of some type in his hand to throw. This Akaka sucker is actually going to throw a grenade of some type into the crowd. No, they weren't shooting any people. But yet, here's a guy with a gun in front. I'm sorry. I need to calm down. But when I get upset. And I'm really upset at this point. Trump's attacking. He attacks veterans. He'll attack Americans. And you know, those of you that support Trump, he despises you people the most.
Howard Stern, absolute hero. Why? Because he was a balls-to-the-wall guy who, remember, he would do all the naughty stuff that when I was a teenager I thought was magnificent. My mum thought it was appalling, but maybe that's why I thought it was magnificent. This was the guy who made a movie called Private Parts. This is the guy who used to get strippers into his studio even though it was on radio. Well, he has decided to unload not just on Donald Trump, but also the evil people who he represents, who last time I checked, I'd imagine, would have really liked Howard Stern as a radio announcer.
Oddity in all of this is the people Trump despises most love him the most. Think about it. The people who are voting for Trump, for the most part,
they're not people he wants.
Oh my God, he wouldn't even let them in a fucking hotel. He'd be disgusted with them.
Okay, rightio.
Absolutely. He is a rich kid who's never done anything in his life except suck off his daddy's titty to get richer. Where most of us who serve the military come from blue-collar workers. Our families are blue-collar. We understand what it takes to get through the day. We understand the struggles of life. Trump doesn't understand these things. The only thing Trump understands is how to insult people. As you can see, he loves to insult veterans. Come say that shit to my face, motherfucker. As you can see here, he has a history of insulting veterans. He insults anybody who doesn't agree with him. And veterans are not off the table. He don't give a fuck.
Somebody should run against John McCain, who has been, in my opinion, not so hot. And I supported him. I supported him for president. I raised $1 million for him. It's a lot of money. I supported him. He lost. He let us down. But, he lost. So I never liked him as much after that, because I don't like losers. But Frank, let me get to it. He hit me. He's not a war hero. He's a war hero. He's a war hero. 5.5 years. He's a war hero because he was captured.
You're the fucking loser. John McCain was a hero, you piece of shit. Oh my God. He insults McCain, one of America's greatest war heroes. This man endured 5.5 years in a POW camp, while Trump sat his fucking fat ass at home, grabbing that pussy.
And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the pussy. Do anything.
Critics say Trump crossed the line, taking on a Gold Star family. But Trump says they started it first by attacking him and his policies.
When you know you're a bitch.
This morning, Donald Trump in a growing fight with the Muslim parents of a fallen U.S. soldier.
He is a black soul
And this is totally unfit for the leadership of this beautiful country.
The Khans lost their son, U.S. Army Captain Humayun Khan, to a car bomb in Iraq. They came out strong against Donald Trump's Muslim ban at the Democratic Convention.
Have you ever been to Arlington Cemetery?
Oh, he's been there, but only as a draft-dodging piece of shit to get a photo op.
Go look at the graves of brave patriots who died defending United States of America. You will see all faiths, genders, and ethnicities.
I promise you, Trump don't give a shit who served our country.
You have sacrificed nothing and no one.
Trump wasn't happy, seeming to question the sincerity of the speech in an exclusive interview with George.
Who wrote that? Did Hillary's scriptwriters write it?
Trump also questioning the silence from Mrs. Khan during the speech.
His wife, if you look at his wife, she was standing there. She had nothing to say. Maybe she wasn't allowed to have anything to say.
That's right, you piece of shit. Insult the grieving mother.
Ghazala Khan telling us she was too emotional to speak. The image of her deceased son just behind her.
I don't want anybody in the world to have this pain, but I don't see every person with the heart, with the kind heart felt it. Why not? Why did not he feel that? That he asked me that I didn't say anything. I'm so sorry, Mr. Trump. I'm so sorry for your heartless thinking. I'm very sorry.
This is what Trump's own mother said about him. What a loser.
But it was this exchange with George that has fueled this new Trump controversy.
How would you answer that, Father? What sacrifice have you made for your country?
I think I've made a lot of sacrifices. I work very, very hard. I've created thousands and thousands of jobs, tens of thousands of jobs, built great structures. I've had tremendous success. I think
those are
I've done a lot.
sacrifices?
How rich fucktards think.
Oh, sure, I think they're sacrifices.
Trump's hate for veterans does not stop there.
And the commander who oversaw the raid that killed Osama bin Laden, retired Admiral William McRaven, is not backing off what he said about President Trump, even after the president went after him this weekend.
Bill McRaven, retired Admiral, Navy SEAL, 37 years, former head of U.S. Special Operations.
Hillary Clinton fan.
Special Operations.
Excuse me, Hillary Clinton fan.
Who led the operations, commanded the operations that took down Saddam Hussein and that killed Osama bin Laden, says that your sentiment is the greatest threat to democracy in his lifetime.
He's a Hillary Clinton backer and an Obama backer.
I have to say, what a douchebag.
And frankly,
He was a Navy SEAL.
wouldn't it have been nice if we got Osama bin Laden a lot sooner than that? Wouldn't it have been nice?
This asshole talks shit about Navy SEALs, but has no problem attacking Americans.
So, McRaven last year, as you heard Chris Wallace say, called the president's attacks on the media possibly the greatest threat to American democracy he'd ever seen. And now, McRaven says he stands by those comments. He tells CNN, quote, "I did not back Hillary Clinton or anyone else. I am a fan of President Obama and President George W. Bush, both of whom I worked for. I admire all presidents, regardless of their political party, who uphold the dignity of the office and who use that office to bring the nation together in challenging times."
You won't get that from Trump because he hates America.
No president has shown greater respect for the military and the veterans. What he's been able to do, everything from just more deeply respecting it.
A widow grieves the loss of her husband, a soldier killed in the line of duty. Sergeant David Johnson was one of 4 American servicemen killed in Niger 2 weeks ago. It is common for presidents to call, visit, or write to the families of slain soldiers, a sacred task that is ordinarily known for its solemnity. Yet President Trump's call with the Johnson family has generated controversy.
Imagine that!
He never said the word hero. He said to the wife, well, I guess he knew what he was getting into. How insensitive can you be?
Congresswoman Wilson, who was in the car with the Johnson family during the call, also said Trump did not even know the fallen soldier's name, referring to him simply as your guy. Such phone calls are notoriously private, which makes it difficult to confirm Representative Wilson's description of the call. Kawanda Jones-Johnson, who raised Sergeant Johnson until his mother died, has said the Congresswoman's account was accurate, though President Trump has since denied the claim.
I did not say what she said. I had a very nice conversation with the woman.
He literally shows there that he don't even know the family's name. He called her by a woman. 'Cause they're black, maybe? Now more on this draft-dodging piece of shit.
Trump's reaction spurring more anger and scrutiny of his own military record.
I was fortunate to really not have to go. This was during the Vietnam period, and we were in a very, very highly contested and unpopular war.
June 1964, Trump registered for the draft after he graduated from the New York Military Academy. He received 4 education deferments while he was at Fordham and Wharton. Then, September 1968, Trump, starting his real estate career, got a medical deferment because of a bone spur in his foot.
I had deferments because of college, like a lot of people did. Numerous deferments because of college, and I had a foot thing, and I had deferment for that.
Despite the fact Trump had been active in various sports, including basketball and baseball.
A New York Times investigation is bringing the president's past back into light. The report uncovered evidence that 2 doctors from Queens, New York, helped the president dodge the Vietnam War in 1968.
What a pussy!
Dr. Larry Braunstein was a podiatrist who rented a medical office from the president's father, Fred Trump Sr. Braunstein's daughter says that her father diagnosed Trump with bone spurs as a favor to Fred so that he wouldn't have to go fight.
So your daddy made you a bitch. Huh.
The battles have no fixed front.
Trump often explains it was his high draft number, 356, which spared him from going to Vietnam.
That was an amazing period of time in my life. I was sitting at college watching. I was going to the Wharton School of Finance, and I was watching as they did the draft numbers, and I got a very, very high number, and those numbers never got up to.
But as it turns out, the draft lottery was never a factor when Trump was in college.
It really pays if you have a rich daddy to get you out of stuff.
According to Selective Service records obtained by CNN, Trump had been out of school for 18 months before the lottery even began. The Republican candidate prides himself on being a champion for veterans.
And we're going to take care of the vets, believe me. We're going to take care of their medical. We're going to take care of the vets.
Today, a veteran gave Trump his Purple Heart.
I always wanted to get the Purple Heart. This was much easier.
And that's the only way Trump will ever get a Purple Heart. What a fucktard. I keep saying that word fucktard. I should use the word ass clown. Hey, thanks for watching another one of my videos. I'm sorry if I offended you, but I really don't give a shit. Trump's a piece of shit. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment. I don't care if you like me or not. Comment. It's cool, man.